Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Menegini?
Here.
Mr. Oja?
Here.
Mr. Pop?
Here.
We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. You see you have a addition to the agenda, which is part of the manifest. So if you didn't get a chance to look at that, that's there. If not, do I have a motion on the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes, regular meeting of April 1st, 2019. Is there any questions on the minutes? If not, I need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, regular meeting of April 1st, 2019.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
We'll move on to the approval of manifest 2019-09. Scott, do you have any questions?
I just have one thing, it's not really a question. On page 107 on the police department, we have step ahead boots for $215. I know they're boots, but same thing like I asked a couple months ago about the garage, if they could put what it's for, who it's for, you know, like give us a name of who had these boots, just so we can kind of keep track of that.
Okay.
That's all.
Brett?
I have none.
Lee?
Under the same thing, police department, on the repairs to our Dodge, was there a deductible on that? I'm assuming insurance took care of all that?
Yeah.
But we had what was the deductible, you know?
It's our $500?
We didn't have one on this one.
Oh, you don't have one on this one?
Because of
I think because our car was less than 50% at fault. So we did not have a deductible.
Oh, okay. And page 2, right down at the bottom, I'm real curious on this. Bomber jacket, lime with black bottom, is that a coat or what is that? For $79, all lift systems. It's right in the middle on the rec page.
Yeah, I see. I don't know. I'll have to check.
Well, I know what a bomber jacket is, and I can't imagine why somebody would want a bomber jacket, but that's listed there. Okay, and I got one other thing here. Okay, on the water shutoffs, or I should say the thawing by Peterson Welding there on page 6, how many of those are our fault rated? We have our side of the shutoff or the customer side of the shutoff, do you know?
Well, it's hard to tell on those because when we typically go across the street. You know, when you...
Well, a lot of them are under the street, yeah.
Yeah. You know, to get an adequate connection, you know, we're typically going through that valve, so whether it's we know it's in the lateral, you know, in the service line. It's just what side of the valve, and so...
Yeah, and you can't really tell.
Right.
Okay.
Is Peterson Electric the only ones, or Peterson Welding, are they the only ones that can do that around here?
They're the ones that have the equipment.
You know, I'd just like to see if there was somebody else where, because Peterson, right now, Peterson Welding can charge whatever they want to charge, and we're kind of stuck with them.
Well, their prices have been pretty consistent through the years. And this year is not bad at all compared to some years. Okay, one other thing here, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep pounding on this. Under the wastewater fund, that heating fuel expense for the Whitewater treatment plant, $1,000. Heating fuel expense for the sludge press. I mean, those two figures together are more than double what it takes to heat the city hall. And every time I see that, I get so darn upset. It just, I can't understand it in this day and age where they come up with a system like that, where we're spending so much money. I just don't believe it. That's all I have.
Jeremy?
Nothing.
I just had a question on the bomber jacket. If there's no other questions, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve manifest 2019-09 in the amount of $374,260.54.
Support.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
No.
Anyone wishing to address the council on any agenda item can do so now at the podium. Move on to communications. Approval, stormwater assessment management wastewater grant program request. Mr. Anderson.
This particular agenda item is our standard SAW program grant pay request. It's number 11. The total is for $40,163.56. A reminder, we get 90% on that grant.
Any questions on that? If not, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, SAW grant pay request number 11 be approved in the amount of $40,163.56.
Support.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Move on to the approval special events application, breastfeeding awareness walk.
This event has been going on now for a few years at Strawberry Lake, and their special event application is for you. It's in order and for your approval.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that the application be approved.
Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Move on to special events application, Tour de Dickinson.
Another annual event using the paths that they used last year. Two routes, Upper Pine Creek Road, Valley View Drive. They're putting again, they're putting a station out at the intersection Purdy Lane, 573. So again, for council approval.
Ray, have we had any issues, traffic-wise? I mean, as far as some bicyclists getting hit or something?
Nope,
It's been
no.
real good, okay.
No issues, I haven't heard of any, so.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion that the application be approved for a special events from the Dickinson County Bike Path Committee.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. We'll move on to Resolution 2019-07, General Utility Service Rate Resolution for fiscal year 2018-19. Mr. Anderson.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. The resolution 2019-07 was prepared at the request of council at the last meeting. This particular change is only one change, and that's to the fee schedule to increase the credit card fee from 1.5% to 2%.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that the attached resolution 2019-07 be approved. Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes. Now, Mary, that's going to bring us closer to not losing as much as they are now.
We're just right around 2%, we're a little above 2%, that our cost is after,
Okay.
what we're collecting.
Move on to Resolution 2019-08, Aaron Harper Appreciation Day.
A request was sent to my attention this past week, a couple weeks ago, that we know that Aaron Harper, who has been long-standing voice, a news voice on WJNR, a series of JNR radio station, retired in January. And congratulations to Aaron, well-deserved. He's been the voice of WJNR since the early 70s, been doing, in fact, he was an original in their programming. And so the request came through, we're gonna have an event on April 28th at the fairgrounds to honor Aaron for all of the work that he did with the local communities, Iron Mountain, Kingsford, Norway, Brighting Township, outlying townships. We're just very proud of being able to participate, wishing Aaron a very happy retirement, and we're going to miss his veracity and voice in news, because he was always open, he was always available. I could pick up the phone, I could call, he'd get me on the air if we needed to get something out, if he would get the information on the air, you know, when we needed information disseminated to the residents. So we wanted to pass this resolution 2019-08 for approval.
I agree with you, Mr. Anderson. I'd like to say congratulations to Aaron. He did a fine job for many years, covering all kinds of events and things going on in all the communities in Dickinson County, and I hope he has a great retirement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that resolution 2019-08 be approved.
Support.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Move on to approval electric department equipment purchase trencher.
Okay, the last item on our agenda is a request from the electric department. If you remember, meeting ago, I think it was the last meeting or a couple meetings ago, we had requests come in for a trailer. Well, this is why we bought the trailer. The trailer is 50 days out. Tim asked if he could move forward with, we've got actually two pieces of equipment that we wanted to purchase. We wanted to, as weather breaks, and it's kind of odd now with the white stuff on the ground again, but we want to get after District 5 road and start doing some line work, and it's important to get this trencher, you know, on board. So we had two quotes for the piece of equipment. We got one from Virmer for $97,880. That was the low quote, and that's what he's requesting approval.
Any questions?
Just a statement, it's a pretty impressive looking piece of equipment. That's with the backhoe on it too, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the one that we have is just
old and wore out.
exhausted.
How much above or below the budget is that?
That was actually a couple $1,000s below budget. We had $100,000 in the budget.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that Vermeer be approved for the purchase of a trencher unit for a price not to exceed $97,880.
Support.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Anyone wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium.
That's pretty slick.
We'll move on to council comments. Scott?
I have nothing for tonight.
Brett?
I have none.
Lee?
I got a few items here. Ray, would it be possible for the next meeting if we could get a cost of our legal fees for just the police department?
Okay.
Just curious about that. And also, what's the status of those two burnt-out houses, the one on 16th Avenue and the one on the 300 block of Iron Street?
I haven't had a update on those two.
I would think the people that own it would be a little concerned about liability. I mean,
I was thinking the same thing as I'm driving by
and they're a
there.
hell of an eyesore too, I mean.
Well, and
come on.
not only that, the windows are broke out if little kids go over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay, we'll check on that then. Okay, the only other thing I have is, the weather's gonna be great for the Easter egg hunt. It's gonna cooperate, it's gonna be a zoo out there. I don't know if they've done it in the past, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a little, slow down the traffic down by Fairview Drive, like they do for fair days. I mean, you're coming up to at 60 miles an hour and you get to that top of that hill pretty fast, where if you're going out, you can see ahead that there's a lot of activity going around. And I mean, there's going to be an awful lot of kids and traffic there from basically noon to maybe 1:30. Is that possible, Ray? Can we, or talk to the county on it maybe?
Yeah, we'll talk to the
Put
county.
something up?
We'll talk to the county being out on the US highway. Let's see if we can get something out there, billboards or something.
Okay.
Maybe they have a sign that can be pulled out there.
Okay, good. That's, yeah, that's all I have.
Jeremy?
Nothing tonight.
I also was gonna just say there was a reminder of the Easter egg hunt, which is on Saturday. Do we have the time?
Noon to
Noon?
1 o'clock. They said gather at noon.
Okay.
And the actual activities will start at 1 o'clock.
And I want to thank the Clyde Camps again for putting on such a great thing in our community. I appreciate all the hard work, and I know the parents and the kids really appreciate that too. And I want to wish everybody to have a safe and happy Easter. Mr. Anderson?
The only thing I wanted to throw out for the community is that we have notice from MDOT, there are going to be 2 projects that are going to affect us this summer. The bridge on US 8 is going to be closed starting May 28th. It'll run through September 13th, which is beyond the fair date. So that bridge can be completely closed down. And then they'll be doing some concrete crack repair work on US 8 from Fairview all the way down to the bridge, running from approximately the 28th of May through August 30th. Local traffic only, but with the bridge being out, it's all the traffic that should be down there is local traffic. And then the other is on US 2, they'll be resurfacing from Loretto intersection east to the county line, the end of August 19th through October. So I know a lot of our residents travel that way to camps and whatnot, and so just be aware. The road isn't closed, but there'll be a signal person, one-lane traffic and slowdowns. So if you want more information, you can go out to the MDOT website, look up projects, or call the Crystal Falls office.
Grant?
No, thank you.
Mary? Trish? No? I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Really? 7 years.
I want to take that ditch witch for a ride.
Huh?
I want to take that thing for a ride.